going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Running Gold Standard podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I'm joined by all of my co-hosts, Matt, Dion, Terry, Brandon. We're previewing the NFC Championship game, baby. How's everyone doing tonight? Matt, I'll start with you.
I'm doing pretty good, man. Had a party today. Just finished up a pretty important milestone for my career, so we had some of that going on. I'm a little tired, but I'm here for this, man. I can't wait for tomorrow.
That's right, man. Dion, how you doing tonight?
Feeling fantastic, man. Congrats on that milestone, Matt, and congrats to many, many more, brother. Let's go out there and kick their ass, man.
Yep.
Let's take care of these Rams, boy. Let's grab the Rams by the horns.
I love that. Perry, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, Matt, congrats on showing the age. I think we all know you're pushing the big numbers soon. Nah, man, congrats. That's really cool. Time flies, you know.
Man.
But you guys, I am more confident in this game than I am against Green Bay. So that's all I need to say until we talk about it. But I'm really pumped, guys. This is a huge game tomorrow and a lot of excitement. Absolutely a ton.
Yep, exactly. Brandon, you were just telling us how excited you are. How you feeling?
Dude, I'm stoked for tomorrow, man. Also, congratulations, Matt. Pretty excited for you, man. But
Yeah.
dude, let's get into this. I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Damn it,
Yeah.
Joey. I am older.
Joey.
I know. We're waiting for Brady to officially retire, and then I'll be older than all the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah,
Well, I'm old. Look, the thing is, I'm older than all of y'all, so all of y'all are still young to me. Y'all are young, man. Okay, I'm probably the oldest person on this podcast at this moment currently. So
Yeah.
Can we-
I mean, hey, listen, I know y'all. The milestone tonight was not age related; it was work related. So I still got a while. I still got a while until I leap out of my 30s.
Can we talk about how weird the whole Tom Brady retirement fiasco was? So we're not going to spend too much time on this to preview the game, but still, I just got to say that, I mean, I think Rappaport broke it. Schefter broke it. I'm not sure.
Jeff Darlington and Adam Schefter.
yeah,
Okay. And then it goes around for like an hour, solid hour and a half. And then out of nowhere, Cron 4 of all places say they spoke to Tom Brady Sr. and
Yeah.
basically he's denying it. And then Don Yee, Tom Brady's agent, put the statement out basically saying he hasn't decided anything yet, but when he does, it'll come from him directly. Did Schefter scoop Tom Brady on his own scoop?
Probably. I think somebody just jumped the gun. I don't think it's a false report. I think that, yeah, it was something that Brady wanted to announce, and so he's got to kind of backtrack on that. It was kind of apparent, though, with what he was talking after they were eliminated from the playoffs about how he had to be the type of husband his wife needed, the type of father his kids needed. It was real clear that he was probably retiring, so it's not a shock. I just think this is one of those cases where somebody jumped the gun a little bit for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Dion, do you have something to say?
I'll keep it real short and sweet. The man has done everything you can do. There's nothing he hasn't done. There's no deep, bro. Look, if you retire, you have left no stone unturned, sir. And if you do, hats off to you, brother, for what you've done for this league and how many things you've done. There's nothing else. Go home, be a good husband to your wife, be a good father to your kids, spend your time with them, continue to take care of your body, because all those hits and everything you took throughout the years, they're gonna come, and it's gonna start working. Just continue to be you, Tom. You have nothing left to do, brother. Nothing. That's why I took my hat off to you, man. Nothing left to do. 7-time champ, 10 Super Bowls, countless division championships, countless AFC championships, 1 NFC championship. Like, what? Are you serious? Come on, bro. Kick back, baby. Kick back and enjoy retirement, Tom. Kick back.
Yeah, I jokingly said he saw a look at the 49ers defense and said, no, thank you. I don't want to deal with that. Now that I'm in the NFC, I got to deal with that if I want to get to the playoffs. Respect to Tom Brady, though. One hell of a career. Best of all time. And I'm a 49ers fan, obviously. So I held on to that Joe Montana title as long as I could. But once Brady won that last one, it's like, I don't know how there's still an argument. It really is crazy. But enough of the Tom Brady talk, guys. Let's get right into this game because we're all so damn hyped. Matt, we missed you last episode. Obviously, you were at work. You couldn't join to celebrate beating the Packers. but you're here
It was
now.
nice, man. It was nice. I went back and watched the game. I mean, that game was like pretty unexpected. It was a defensive struggle for sure, but timely plays by the defense, and we're going to need more of the same this week. And I'm just going to jump right into it. This game, while everybody's super excited and is feeling themselves on this, there's something about this that makes me nervous. I think that beating the same team 3 times in the same season is a lot to ask, especially when your quarterback's Jimmy Garoppolo. I know Jimmy might be due for a good game, but it's still Jimmy Garoppolo, and I don't know that you can count on that necessarily. So I am a little bit worried, and I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say about it. But that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. This one makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty nervous about this damn matchup. I'm excited. I think the 49ers can take care of business. They're the more physical team. And we saw it all week, right? We saw these Rams players, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Raheem Morris, the DC, come out, say, oh, we're going to be physical. We're going to put them in a body bag, And Joe Staley said it best on the Niners Nation podcast with Rob Guerrera and Levin Black, I believe. He goes, when a team is coming out and saying that, that's because they're not that. They're lying to themselves, trying to hype themselves up to say, this is what we're going to do because that's who we are. If you have to say it, you're not. I mean, that's just the truth of it. And I forget which show on NFL Network I was watching, but it was like, let me put it this way. As far as who has more pressure on them, do you think the guy who's gotten knocked out 6 times straight feels more pressure, or the guy who's knocked out the guy 6 times straight? Obviously, the guy who's getting knocked out 6 times straight. So the Rams, they're favored. The 49ers are the underdogs. They're in the Rams' house. Dion, I'm going to throw it to you. They have to have the most pressure on them, right? The 49ers surely aren't over here thinking like, oh, my God, we're going to have this huge letdown. The pressure's on the Rams, right?
We're not supposed to be here. All season long, like we were 3-5. We pretty much, most of us counted ourselves out. We did not anticipate making the damn playoffs. We were thinking, hey, look, man, if we break even, we're good. If we get a game above 500, we're okay. We're not supposed to be here. There's no pressure on us. All the pressure is on them. The number one thing that sticks out about this game is simply the fact that you tried to keep us out of your stadium. You didn't even want to make money. You lost all kinds of money when nobody was in those seats. All kinds of money. That first year, your venue was open. Nobody patroning your stadium in any way, shape, or form. And you tried to keep us out because you knew we would outnumber you. Sorry, I have no worry. The pressure, please, man, pressure busts pipes. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's pipes busting all over SoFi, and it's in the form of players. It has nothing to do with us. We have no pressure whatsoever.
I love that. I love that a lot. Yeah, that whole thing was so weird, man. Immediately after the Rams beat the Bucs, all of these reports coming out saying that, I think it was Ticketmaster, I believe, was restricting ticket sales to only LA area codes.
The funny thing about that, by the way, is that there are a grip of Niner fans that live in LA County.
So many.
Like they weren't stopping anybody anyway. So
yeah.
And that's the one thing that gives me hope that, the 49ers are going to keep it rolling. I worry about Jimmy Garoppolo, but at the same time, everything the Rams are doing is an indication that Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are in their head and that the fans are in their head. We saw the little vivid tweet today looking at their ticket sales, and it looks like a huge amount of 49ers fans. It's probably going to be, I know you said it's a Rams home game. It's really not. It's a 49ers home game. You know what I'm saying? So
Levi South, baby. Levi
exactly.
South. They are. And the other thing about it is we had people from California jump on Twitter and say, look at that. That's like, look at this.
It's just
this
wild.
Is flat out ridiculous. Look at the numbers. It's a wrap.
All she wrote.
Hold on, a wrap, bro.
Look at that.
It's a wrap. But there were several people on Twitter that said, I'll buy your tickets for you. Just send me the money. One dude did it and thought, nobody was going to respond. And he said he got an overwhelming amount of responses. It's you got to be in somebody's head, bro. And I'm going to tell you right now, Debo is in there in Donald's head. I know that much.
Yep. Perry, I'm going to throw it to you. Matt and Dion both talked about being in the Rams' heads. Sean McVay was asked if Kyle Shanahan is in his head, and kind of very bluntly, he said no. The fact that that question even has to be asked, is that like a sort of disrespectful, and does that kind of tell the whole story right there that it even needs to be asked?
Well, I'm going to be honest. It's a stupid question because, of course, Sean McVay is going to be no. But what you analyze when you ask that kind of question, you analyze the response and see how he reacts. I think everyone in the room would know he's going to say no. But when he says it in that kind of manner, it obviously tells you it's in his head. It really is. I'm sure he's hearing it from the owner. I'm sure he's hearing it from the other coaches like, oh, man, we got to beat these guys 6 in a row, make it 7. We lost to freaking, I think, Mullins back in the day in 2020, no Garoppolo. And you have that kind of pressure, like you guys talked about earlier, where the Rams absolutely have the pressure. And you're talking about a team that has traded so much draft picks, all the first rounders. They've acquired all the big name talents from Von Miller to Odell Beckham to Jalen Ramsey. Obviously, Aaron Donald is homegrown, but you have and Matthew Stafford, of course. So they have all kinds of talent on both sides of the ball. That's a lot of pressure to try and build up and try and beat a team that really on paper doesn't look as dominant as the Rams do. And that's really simply because of Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think kind of like Murphy's Law, what was that? What goes up must come down or some shit. I don't know science, but I really do think Garoppolo is overdue for a good game. And you guys heard my prediction last week. My prediction for Garoppolo was no interceptions or no turnovers. Got to set the bar low. So I think we should be looking for that kind of game again. But when it comes to asking about, are you feeling any pressure? No. Like there is quite a bit of pressure there if it has to come down to that. And you just analyze the response. You see he says no. And then you have guys like Deebo Samuel saying, when you're the Rams, right, and you see Deebo Samuel going, I don't need to watch Cooper Kupp. I play my own game. Why do I need to watch anyone else? I mean, it's shit talking on its own without deliberately saying it. And I'm sure that's the vibe throughout the entire Niners locker room. And when you have that kind of energy and that kind of just presence going up against the Rams, it's all kinds of pressure. I'm sure Sean McVay is up his own ass thinking like, how the fuck do I beat these guys? There's a lot of pressure, guys. He's absolutely facing it. And I heard a podcast too where I forgot who said it, but he was like, if Sean McVay loses, he wouldn't be surprised if he leaves the Rams and goes to college. It was really stupid, but it's just interesting that people are talking about pressure and thinking that McVay is just tired of facing all this. He's already lost the Super Bowl. He can't beat the Niners. He just got all this first-round talent for first-round picks. He's getting all the pieces, and he's still not making them work. The rumor, he said, is that McVay is just tired of the pressure. So, I mean, that's just something. But the point being is I think there's a lot of pressure on his head. And pressure, like Dion said, pipes explode because of pressure. And I think that'll lead into Sean McVay.
I love that. I was listening to Kyle Brandt, and I think he was on the Rich Eisen show, and he was talking about how people like to kind of equate Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, basically saying that they're all from Washington and they were all basically on the same line. And he goes, no, Sean McVay was essentially Kyle Shanahan's bitch. He was his gopher. He would check the weather, and if it was supposed to rain, he would laminate the play calling sheets. That way they wouldn't get wet. And he's like, there's obviously some of this dynamic is still there. And we saw that in week 18 when he jumped out to that 17-0 lead. Sean McVay's in the end zone celebrating already. That's the type of like, holy shit, I'm actually doing it celebration that just shows the type of mentality he has, that he doubts himself. And once you get into that type of mentality, you've already lost. It's already too late. You already are kind of seceding to the fact that, yes, Kyle Shanahan is in your head, and you're staying up late every night trying to figure out how the hell to stop it. Before I throw it to you, Brandon, I need to tell everybody, if you're watching on Twitter, head over to our YouTube channel so we can actually see and interact with your comments. YouTube.com/49ers Hive, and we'll see you there. We can't see any of your comments on Twitter. We're not ignoring you or anything. Go over to YouTube. And while you're here, hit like and subscribe. Brandon, I had such a hard time deciding which shirt to wear, right? I threw on our Deebo shirt that we sell at our Teespring store. Deebo has gone off historically against the Rams. Do you envision another big game from him tomorrow?
Definitely, for sure. I said it in my show last night. I think Deebo goes off with 2 touchdowns and 1 rush. So that's my take on it. I mean, you heard the guy say in his presser yesterday, He has no reason to look at other receivers. Nobody plays the way he plays, basically. So, I mean, the guy is a freaking stud. So I'm excited to see him go off tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, I love it, man. I really do think he's going to have something, a big game. Matt, I'm going to throw it back to you. You touched on Jimmy Garoppolo kind of being that, I don't want to say X factor, and I don't want to say like kind of hindering factor either, but he was kind of the storyline this week because of a segment that Mina Kimes did on ESPN talking about how he is kind of the person in the group project that puts the name on it, but doesn't really do any of the work. He's driving the bus, but not necessarily doing much to get the 49ers to where they are. Caused this huge storm all over Twitter. We all saw it. Jeff Garcia kind of got involved, said some boneheaded take on it. What do you think about Jimmy Garoppolo and how he can continue his hot streak of performances against the Rams tomorrow?
Yeah, I think he's due for a good game. I mean, he's had a horrendous couple of playoff games. He hasn't been good at all. He's thrown a pick in his last 4 starts, 6 of them, in fact, over his last 4. And it's one of those things where you think law of averages catches up and Jimmy's going to do something. The one thing I will say about Jimmy is that no matter how poorly he plays, he's got some secret sauce in terms of being a leader that the players just buy into, because even when he's making these boneheaded plays, you never see the offense get down. They go out there the next time and they're still doing their thing. And that's not the case for everybody. Sometimes you see players will kind of let that negative feedback just overwhelm them. And it's like, man, every time we go out there, it's just not the same. Same thing with the defense. Jimmy will turn the ball over, and instead of being upset about it, they're like, all right, boys, buckle our chin straps. Let's go out there and hit some fools. And that's just the mentality that this team has. And I think that Jimmy's leadership actually, helps with that. So for as bad as he plays, I think when the team talks about him being a good leader, I think there is something to that. And so you just hope the law of averages can come out so that Jimmy plays a clean game, and, we can put up some points pretty quickly, maybe not have to worry about those big turnovers. If Jimmy can get that 49ers offense humming, then this is going to be a lot less hard of a hill to climb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And it's unfortunate that it's kind of has to be a discussion, but it needs to be. I see a Fernando and a couple other people are talking about Trent Williams not playing. He's questionable, so that's not a fact that he's not going to play. Kyle Shanahan sounded pretty optimistic that he would play.
I would guess that he plays if it were me.
I actually have the injury report. Let me pull it up here leading into tomorrow's game. So the only people that are questionable are Trent Williams and Jeff Wilson, both with ankle injuries. Jimmy Garoppolo kind of said that it was a high ankle sprain that Trent Williams is dealing with, even though Shanahan had specifically said that it wasn't a high ankle sprain. So
those two never on the same page when it comes to injuries.
I thought the same thing.
Like never.
Yeah,
That was somebody else's injury.
It's so weird.
Every time one of them says one thing, I expect the other to just come out and say the opposite thing.
Yeah, even with somebody else's injury.
They did X-rays. And it came out negative for being a high ankle sprain at the beginning of the week as well.
Well, that's for a fracture. So
Right.
the ankle sprain is ligament related. And it's just like it affects your ligament a little higher up on the ankle. So it's a little different. The sprain is mainly soft tissue related. So it's good that I wasn't broken. Otherwise, he definitely wouldn't be playing. And if this was like a regular season game, maybe he doesn't. But for the NFC Championship, considering where Trent Williams came from in Washington, dealing with that cancer, and now coming back, like this is one of the biggest games of his career. So I have a feeling if there's any way, shape, or possible, shape or form that he's going to be able to go, he's going to go. And, I think we'll see that. For me, the big get is Ambry Thomas back there. That one to me is like a big deal considering these Rams wide receivers. That's huge.
Yeah. Did you guys see Trent Williams was mic'd up for the 49ers Packers game? And there was a part towards the end where he's like sitting there and he literally like thanks the 49ers and his teammates for getting him there. And it's just like, it hits you right in the feels because he's gone through so much. And this is his first, kind of extended stint in the playoffs. I think he was with Washington when they were like one and done, if I remember correctly. But man, it really does kind of hit you in the feels, and you obviously hope the 49ers can get it done. They weren't able to get it done for Joe Staley. Hopefully they can get it done for Trent Williams. Dion, I'm going to throw it to you. the comments in here, the running game's going to eat. That all starts and ends with Elijah Mitchell. How do you think he's going to do tomorrow?
I think Elijah's going to have a fantastic game tomorrow. I say he goes out there and he runs that rock like he's never run it before. On the subject of Trent Williams, I do believe that Trent will play. I'm sorry, man. It's the NFC Championship. It's the furthest this man's ever gotten in his career. There's nothing outside of a Mack truck hitting that man in the face, which of course we all wouldn't want. Nothing's going to stop him from playing. Like, it's just not going to happen. He's going to be out there. And, I mean, Elijah having a big game just translate to what I was going to piggyback off a little earlier with what Matt said. The way we've beaten the Rams these last 6 times, we beat them 5 times with Jimmy and 1 with Nick Mullins. We've, beat them, then barely beat them. Beat them, then barely beat them. We just barely beat them. It's time for a beat down. This is the game where we turn it around and go, okay, we gave you a close game last one. We almost screwed it up. Now it's time for us to open the doors wide open and kick your teeth in. Elijah's going to run that ball down their throat, and I think that Kyle's going to look to that run game early. And once that run game gets established, that play action is just going to come and destroy people.
Yep, I really think so, man. The 49ers, what they're able to do on offense, even with an injured Jimmy Garoppolo. Let me just say this real quick before I throw it to Perry. We have to take this all with considering the fact that he has been playing injured since week 18. And then he was dealing with the thumb injury, and then he had this light shoulder sprain, whatever the 49ers called it, against the Cowboys. And I'm a little upset. I'm no Jimmy Garoppolo defender whatsoever, right? I am all for calling him out on what he deserves to be called out on. But to come out here and say his stats in the Green Bay game as if they weren't playing in a damn, polar vortex or whatever the hell it was going on in Wisconsin. Aaron Rodgers didn't even play well, and he had home field advantage. That's what he's used to. So Jimmy Garoppolo, all things considered, he did enough to get the job done. And in that first quarter, he was putting some dimes out there that the receivers were dropping. So his stats probably look a lot different if Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings, Debo don't have the drops that he has. So I just wanted to get that out there because it's been a very, very kind of point of contention amongst 49ers fans this week on Twitter. Perry, I'm going to throw it to you, though. Staying with Jimmy Garoppolo, per StatMuse, I have his stats here for the Rams in the last 6 games. Obviously, 6-0, 121 of 177, 68.4 completion percentage, 1,549 yards, averaged 260 yards a game, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he took 12 sacks with a quarterback rating of 96, or passer rating, I believe. What do you envision tomorrow? Matt was talking about what he thinks he's going to do to get the job done, law of averages. Is he healed enough to where he can go out and have that week 18 second half type performance, or am I kind of just wishing for too much here?
Before I answer that, I wanted to ask Matt too while he's talking about injuries.
Go ahead.
Where do you think Jimmy's thumb would be at this point?
The type of injury that he has, that ligament is not going to spontaneously reattach. So if they're saying he needs surgery, it's still going to be messed up. Pain level might be diminished, but the functionality is going to be about the same. So he looks like he can grip a football. You question if a defender kind of swipes at that ball and he's not holding it with 2 hands, what's going to happen. But in terms of throwing the ball, he seems like he's okay. And it's just at this point, it is what it is. And it's going to be more a pain management issue than anything else, Yeah,
I wanted to ask you about that when you were talking about the other injuries.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good question.
Because it seemed like Jimmy was throwing it okay in the first half against the Packers in the cold. So when you see that with his thumb, it's like, okay, well, obviously those hits to the thumb are going to hurt in the cold.
Yeah.
So if he's executing, then yeah, I'm sure the pain limitation just depends on how much, how many hits he's going to take to that. But in any event, kind of going off what Matt said, I think that Jimmy Garoppolo will have a pretty fair day. Again, I think he's long overdue for an average game. And I mean average, which is like a 2 touchdown, 1 pick type of thing, which by all means is a Jimmy Garoppolo average game, and I'll take that. What I'm more intrigued by is how Kyle Shanahan's going to call this game, because Shanahan's 2 NFC conference games that he's been in, one with the Falcons, one with the Niners, ironically, both against the Packers, absolutely smoked them for 44 points and 37 points respectively. So I'd like to think that Shanahan has his mind straight when it comes to championship games. Ownage is ownage, man. When you're 6-0 against the Rams, you have an overall winning record against the Rams, whether it is with Nick Mullins or Jimmy Garoppolo, you're doing something right. And I think this will be another game where Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan are just going to absolutely exploit the middle of the field. Now, what I'm curious as well is to see what Jalen Ramsey is going to do. I don't know if he's going to follow Debo. I don't know if he's going to follow Kittle. Highly doubt we see Jalen on Ayuk, so it'll be one or the other. So more or less, someone is going to get open. I think when you add Eric Weddle, 37 years old, who is by no means a world beater at this point. He's playing okay, but I mean, you know, if anyone's going to exploit someone who's 37 years old, it's Kyle Shanahan, especially if Weddle comes down in the box. So it's going to be a big middle of the field type of game. I expect my guy Kittle to have a massive game. He is long overdue as well, but we're not talking like 4 touchdowns, 300 plus yards from Jimmy. I don't think the Shanahan offense has had a 30-point game since we played the Bengals, I think. That might have been our last 30-point game because I don't even think we hit 30 against the Texans. I could be mistaken. But the point being is that the offense is long overdue. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will have himself a day. He's finally kind of more or less going to be at a home game where he can hear shit and listen, and he's got the fans around him. You know, it's not even hostile territory. The weather is going to be beautiful. You're going up against opposition that you already know very well. And the only downside to that is that the Rams will know Garoppolo's tendencies. But at that point, it falls on Shanahan to coach around it, and we know both guys can execute. So I'm not expecting a world-beating day from Garoppolo, but I think we'll finally see the game that we've been waiting for Garoppolo pretty much since the Bears matchup. I think the Bears matchup might have been his last true, really good game. So if we can get some type of efficiency like that out of Jim, I think we'll be seeing a great day tomorrow.
I just want to say this, too. When you talk about they know Garoppolo's tendencies, there's also that heat map floating out around there where the Rams give up most of their passes, and it's intermediate over the middle.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yep,
if they don't actively work to take that away, Jimmy might eat tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter. So if they're leaving that wide open for him, I agree with you, Perry. I think George Kittle is going to have a big game. Those slants on the inside with Debo and Ayuk, they're lethal, man. I mean, we saw it on the first play of overtime. Debo almost caught that, and if he catches it, it's 1-on-1 and a 50% chance. More than likely, he does break that tackle and take it to the house. Brandon, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Perry talked about Jalen Ramsey. Is he gonna follow Debo or not? How much of an impact do you expect Jalen Ramsey to actually have on this game? Last time he had that big interception when the 49ers were driving down the field looking to take the lead. Does he have another one tomorrow?
Hell to no. That's just because I think Debo shows up and he makes those beautiful passes from Jimmy Garoppolo. And to be honest with you, that last game that Jalen Ramsey got that little interception that he got, that was kind of luck. I mean, yeah, he tipped up in the air and everything like that, but honestly, that was just a gimme right there. But I think Jalen Ramsey's gonna be quiet tomorrow.
Okay.
Debo's gonna truck him for sure.
Well, here's the thing too with that to go along is that we're gonna have Eric Weddle right out there playing safety. This is not their starting safety. This is Eric Weddle, 2 years retired, whatever. So Jalen Ramsey is really gonna have to play his coverage very tight. He's not gonna be able to cheat as much because it's you have to maintain, because if you're trying to cheat and you don't have that safety help, you're going to get burned. And so they got to be real careful about what they do. And no disrespect to Weddle, who's probably a Hall of Famer at some point or another, but dude's like 37, man. Like, it's rough.
It's a lot to ask of him, essentially coming off his couch to come and play in the NFC Championship game now. Dion, I'm going to throw it back to you over there. The 49ers on defense, I think 3 straight games with 5+ sacks. Do they make it 4 straight games tomorrow against Matt Stafford and the Rams?
I believe so. I don't see a reason why not. We should be able to eat against that Rams offensive line. Oh, Brandon holds up 6 over there. I saw somebody in the comments say that they were looking to I think Bosa had 5 sacks. Like, there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to take over that offensive line and rush properly. I do believe Mo Hurst may actually get some time in this game. And, he's a really good run stuffer. We've been working great with DJ Jones and Eric Armstead. But let me tell you something. If you put DJ Jones and Mo Hurst on the same field at the same time, that's going to be a horrible night for any running back trying to come up that gut. I do believe we should be able to sack Stafford as many times as we want to. We should be able to keep the streak going. If anything, if we get lucky, we could have a Joe Burrow type day where we get 9 sacks on Matthew Stafford. But the difference is with the way we sack quarterbacks, you ain't getting back up after 9. You're going to quit. We're going to break your will. Like Joe Burrow is an anomaly because any man that gets up from 9 sacks and keeps saying, give me some more, that's a whole grown man. But Matthew Stafford is not that dude. His wife's still worried about us buying tickets rather than her husband being flat on his back looking up at the ceiling and sofa.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be wild, man. Guys, like I said earlier, hit share, hit retweet, copy the link, paste in social media, help your boys out, share the show. It really does help. Hit like, hit subscribe. Matt, I'm going to throw it back to you. What would you say if you're looking at this game? Obviously, the stars need to show up. It's an NFC Championship game. Your stars need to show up. But if there's a guy who might not be necessarily a star that needs to show up for the 49ers, call it an X factor, who would you say that person would be?
Yeah, I'm going to say offensively it's going to be Brandon Ayuk. When you got George Kittle, when you got Deebo Samuel, and everybody's talking about Deebo right now, and rightfully so because he does so much, but you cannot forget about Brandon Ayuk. The man can get behind defenses before you can even blink. And like I said, with the safety situation of the Rams, I know Tommy Huxley's asking if Taylor Rapp's going to play. He's a game-time decision with that concussion that he's had since Week 18. So he's missed the last 2 games with that concussion. And no Jordan Fuller, who was ruled out with an ankle injury. So they're playing with backups. And I really think that, even if Taylor Rapp comes back and plays, I mean, he's been in concussion protocol for like 3 weeks. What kind of impact is he going to have and how rusty is he going to be? When you're looking at Jalen Ramsey probably concentrating on taking away Deebo Samuel, and you look at a lot of the defense looking at George Kittle, guess what's going to happen? Guys like Juwan Jennings are going to be open. Guys like Brandon Ayuk are going to be open. So I expect a big, big game, an X-Factor type of game out of Brandon Ayuk, and I think that that's going to serve the 49ers very well in terms of putting points on the board early.
I love that. Perry, he gave us his offensive. Defensive, who would you say needs to show up that's not a big name player like a Nick Bosa or a Fred Warner?
You know what? I think Bad and I have both agreed on this for some time. I really want to see Emmanuel Mosley step up. He's been very, very respective playing since he's come back. Very respective. But Cooper Kupp will be on the side of the field eventually. Odell Beckham, who is playing very well as of late, will be on his side as well. So I want to see Emmanuel Mosley be sticky, man. I want to see him be quicker when it comes to adjusting to zones. I still think E-Man is very good in zone, but it feels like sometimes he's just a little slow to diagnose, a little slow when they have him playing off coverage, when he has to cover a slant. It seems like he's just a step too late. I want to see him be on top of shit, man. I really want to see E-Man really be that guy in the secondary and just, lay some hits. He did it against Devontae in Green Bay. I'd love to see that. Do that again. Just impose your will. Don't be afraid to lay the hammer. And whether it is Odell or Cooper, I really want to see E-Man step up. And I also want to see him step up the tackling as well. Tackling has been kind of 50-50 with him. That's another thing Matt and I talk about quite a bit. So I want to see him clean up the tackling because out of the secondary guys, I do think he is the worst in tackling. So if he can just be a little more aggressive, be a little more clean, and kind of just focus on the fundamentals and don't let any extra yardage happen, which he does have a tendency to do, I think E-Man will have a really good day. At that point, it's not about forcing turnovers. It's just about being sticky and playing some clean football, and that's my biggest defensive X factor is Emmanuel Mosley.
Man, I love that. There was a comment here. I didn't want to pull it up because to block your face while you're talking about. RDK says, running game is the catalyst to the offense. Wide receivers much catch the ball, low penalty, so Jimmy doesn't feel like he has to do too much. Clean pocket, Jimmy will be okay. We know what Jimmy is, so let's go, Kyle, Trey Lance. All right, I didn't hear that end of that comment. But
a key point to this game that wasn't true of the Week 18, if Trent Williams plays tomorrow, he wasn't there for Week 18.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference for Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think that that's going to tie into, keeping that pocket clean for him.
The other thing is with that comment, clean pocket doesn't guarantee that Jimmy's going to do everything correctly. We just have to keep an open mind with that. And I'm not trying to put a damper on things, but Jimmy's had plenty of clean pockets, and you just see him look like he dazed and confused. Yeah, I've literally watched him have at least 6 seconds and still not make a decision. So we don't know if that's true or not.
I think he's better in the clean pocket, though. I worry about, like, last week against the Packers. When he avoided that sack and ran out to the right, I was like, I'm not going to like what's going to happen right now. And he threw that interception. I want to see Jimmy not be completely allergic to throwing the ball away if he needs to. Live to play another down. You don't have to make every single play. And I think that's going to be an emphasis. If I could take away anything from that Green Bay game, I think Kyle's going to say, hey, Jimmy, listen, you don't have to force it. Just toss the ball out of bounds, dude. And whether or not Jimmy kind of adheres to that remains to be seen, because he seems like he's stubborn as the day is long. So, but I think him having a clean pocket and the wide receivers being able to, make their moves quickly, the quicker he can get the ball out, the better he typically does. It's when he has to hold and pat the ball that we get into trouble. So if they can run those, quick hitter routes to take some of the decision out of his hands, that'll be better.
Yeah, no. Kyle said that in his presser too. He did.
Yep,
he said that he wanted him to take it. He wanted him to start throwing the ball away if he needs to. Like what you said, Matt, was exactly what Kyle said in his presser. You may not have watched it, but you almost said it verbatim.
Yeah, that's the last thing I want to touch on for Matt too, is that Jim's got to trust the offense, trust the scheme. Guys, I mean, you've beat them 6 times in a row. Guys are going to be open. Like Dion said, we've had one close game, one big game, one close game, one big game. This, in turn, it means the big game is going to happen. But whether, no matter what the outcome is, Jim's just got to trust the offense. These guys are going to open up. And if he needs to hold the ball for a second longer, that's fine. Let the routes develop. I think that's one of Jimmy Garoppolo's biggest things is he likes to force the ball. But it's like if you just scan the field, just go read the read, something will be open, and you got to trust the scheme. And I've been kind of biting my tongue on this because I've been waiting to say it, and maybe we'll do bold predictions later. But my bold prediction now is that Garoppolo is finally going to hit use check on the wheel route that we've been waiting for in entire careers. Jimmy is finally going to hit the wheel route.
And pigs are going to fly tomorrow, too.
I had to say it.
It's a shame that's a bold prediction. He's going to hit a wide open receiver deep down the field.
Whoever had the comment that put up, Dan and Gotti, what do you think about Cam Akers? He was around for that second game. He just didn't do anything because the defense played well.
That was his first game back.
I think nothing of Cam Akers. He averaged 0.6 yards. What do I need?
He fumbled the damn ball.
Yeah, two fumbles
last week. That was bad.
So,
he's non-existent.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Cam who?
Matt, I wanted to touch on what you were talking about though, with as far as throwing the ball away. It's funny because Grant Cohn had been talking about it. I watch his Mondays with Vish. You guys, I know you have your own opinions on Grant Cohn, but Vish is fantastic. And they were talking about why Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw the ball away. And he goes, I literally cannot think of a single throw. He's like, I've watched all of them. I can't think of a single one where Jimmy threw the ball away. And Josh Dubow, I believe, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I believe he writes for the AP. He wrote that he threw the ball away 6 times since he's been with the 49ers. That's it. 6 times. That is just a mind-boggling stat. But yeah, Grant asked Jimmy and Kyle why he doesn't throw the ball away. And Kyle basically said, sometimes the best play is a sack. As much as you hate to see it, the best play is a sack because he likes to force in there. And I thought it was hilarious. He basically equated Jimmy to a gunslinger. And it's like, no, Kyle, he's not a gunslinger. He might have the mentality of one, but he doesn't have the physical traits of one. And when he asked Jimmy the same question, he basically said, well, sometimes, I do throw the ball away, but some of the best throws I've made are kind of on plays that I probably should have thrown the ball away. And it turned out to be a huge play. And I know Coach Shanahan's on the sideline saying, no. Oh, yes. He's like, so it's kind of a hit or miss, but it's been brought to his attention. It's been addressed. So I'm very interested to see if he will throw it away.
But, I mean, you got to know your limitations. And that throw against the Packers in cold weather where, yeah, Kittle looked like he was open, but you see Amos streaking across, right? And Jimmy doesn't have the arm to get it there. That's one of those ones where I don't care if you've made good plays, off schedule or whatever. That's absolutely one where you just toss it out of bounds. You're in scoring position. It's less than 2 minutes to go in the half. Like, you cannot give the ball up in that situation. And fortunately, it worked out because, Green Bay somehow miraculously has worse special teams than the 49ers do. But you just can't have that. And I think it's very telling where Kyle Shanahan goes, yeah, dude, sometimes he needs to throw the ball away. And Jimmy goes, well, I don't really need to. And it's like, you kind of do, man. And this is what I'm talking about earlier when I say sometimes, Jimmy is just going to do his Jimmy thing. And that's what you got to live with. And that's, part of that leadership aspect that you like because he has a short memory. But, dude, it's one of those things. You just have to get the ball out and throw it away sometimes. It's just you can't have those interceptions like that.
Yep. What's weird too is that the red zone offense for the Niners all season long was the best in the league. It was the number one red zone offense in the league. And it seems like now in the playoffs, it's just been so sloppy. We're seeing guys on the offensive line committing penalties. We've seen freaking Jimmy Garoppolo throwing picks in the end zone. It seems like the execution in the red zone just hasn't been there. And that's kind of the biggest story of Shanahan since he joined the Niners was from 20 to 20. The offense is spot on because Shanahan has the whole field to work with. Then when you shrink the field, it gets a little tougher. But I thought Shanahan cleaned that up in 2019 and 2020. And it seems like everything was fine this season. So when it comes getting to the end zone, yeah, Matt, I agree with you. You just got to limit the sloppiness. No picks. You cannot afford to turn the ball over in the end zone. Not in a game like Green Bay, for example, where every point matters. And you're talking about a game now that is a 3.5 push on the betting odds. You're talking about a field goal. And in that case, every end zone score matters. And they just need to follow up and finish with the execution. Limit the sloppiness.
Yep. Matt, you were talking about that heat map where the Rams are kind of open and where the 49ers like to throw. I have it up right here. This is for PFF_Moo. So the left is where the Rams allow more completions than expected, and the right where the 49ers target. So it really is just...
It matches up.
Yeah. That's where the Rams allow the most. Obviously, the red is the most above average. And the 49ers, it's you can't tell me it's not the same map.
That's so weird. Well, it makes sense, but that's still weird.
Yeah. So look for the 49ers to target that early and often. And I'm expecting George Kittle to have a big game. Tommy Hucks is asking, is Akers going to fumble this game? What do you guys think, Matt?
He could. I don't know. I think, again, it's like one of those situations where you look at Jimmy Garoppolo and what he's going to work on and what Kyle wants to work on with him. I can't imagine that Sean McVay's not going to go to Cam Akers and be like, dude, we got to work on ball security. We can't have you fumbling like that. And it very well could lead to that, but I don't know. I don't really see that. I think we got to get to Stafford. I think Stafford is the guy that you want to go after for injuries or for turnovers, excuse me. He's the guy that you can really pressure and get some turnovers from.
Yeah, and I think it's hilarious how all of these Rams fans and media analysts are talking about how, Stafford's fantastic against the blitz. Good luck blitzing him because he's deadly. The 49ers can get home with 4. How many teams in the NFL can consistently make your quarterback's life a living hell with only their 4 base rushers? I don't think any. Perry, we were talking about this last week. Do the 49ers have the best defense left in the playoffs?
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about the best defense, man. I mean, it's unbelievable what D'Amico Ryans has been. And to further your point about the blitzing, the Niners actually are one of the least. They blitz the least. They blitz the least in the NFL. And you're talking about a quarterback that thrives off of pressure when it comes to blitzing. Okay, that makes sense. But you're talking about guys on the entire defensive line that have just been eating. From Jordan Willis to Samson Ebukam, who, by the way, surprisingly has the second most pressures amongst the Niners in the playoffs. Who would have thought? Bosa's got 9, and Ebukam has 8, and that's very shocking to say the least. And you're talking about other guys like Armstead, who's having a monster playoff, which is very surprising to say the least. Arden Key, my guy, has been playing very well. Also, DJ Jones, like Dion shouted out earlier, has been hot also. So the entire defensive line has been feasting. And the thing is everyone talked about how the secondary has been suspect. Well, I saw Cam Inman tweeted a couple days ago that the Niners have only had 5 pass interference penalties committed since the Bengals game. So they have definitely cleaned up the secondary issues. We saw how D'Amico Ryans can adjust around Dante Johnson. When Ambry Thomas gets back on the field, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another safety kind of leaning towards Ambry's side just to give some help, whether it is with Cooper or OBJ, because Ambry will still need to get his feet wet since he missed a game. But overall, I'm just looking for D'Amico Ryans adjustments because it seems like it takes about a drive or so for him to be like, okay, this is what the tendency is. This is what the Rams, like the Packers, for example, are going to do. And those adjustments are going to be key. I remember, I think half of us were screaming in the group chat. I know Matt sadly wasn't there, but we were screaming in the group chat going, man, Devontae Adams is freaking eating us. And then he puts a safety over Dante Johnson to help him out. And then Dante has a great game all of a sudden. So it's those kind of adjustments I'm really looking for. But when you're talking about the best defense left, it's far and away the best. It's not like, oh, the Rams are close. Oh, the Bengals and Chiefs are close. No, this is like the Niners are the upper echelon right now. And that's it. And that's another thing where it's like, if we can get average Garoppolo, I think we'll have a pretty solid day. But, that's a big if. But for defense, you guys, man, I think you're only rushing 4. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry, and I'm 100% expecting turnovers from the Rams, whether it is an Akers fumble, whether it is a stat pick. All these guys have been hungry for the ball all playoffs, and I think that's going to continue.
Yeah, I agree with that. Brandon, I know you got to go, so I'm going to throw it to you. Do you want to give us your offensive and defensive MVP and final score prediction? We usually save it to the end, but we'll let you get yours in before you got to dip.
Yeah, so I said it last night on my show. I'm going to say Deebo Samuel goes in and has 2 passing touchdowns, I should say, and 1 rush. And then for defense, I'm going to give it to my boy Ambry Thomas. I think he gets an interception and it's a pick 6. And then my final prediction will be I think we're going to have another 31-10 game.
Oh, shit. All right, man. I love that. I love that confidence. Thanks for joining us, Brandon. We'll see you definitely tomorrow evening after the game. Whenever you got to go, feel free.
All right.
Enjoy the family, brother.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Dion, I'm going to throw it back to you. We saw Tom Compton get his ass handed to him by the Packers defensive line. Rashawn Gary had his number the entire night. Do the 49ers have a similar problem against the Rams?
I don't know. It all depends on who they put on that side. Their linebackers aren't over the top stellar. But from what I know, Vaughn doesn't rush from, the right side of the line. He's usually rushing from the left. The main issue is, man, run the ball. And I think you can mask Tom Compton's deficiencies in pass coverage. But you got to be real careful, man, because if you get another Rashawn Gary type game out of one of those dudes from the Rams, we are definitely going to be really suspect. We all know the right side of our line is the weak side, But remember, Brunskill shows up for some ungodly reason, plays against Aaron Donald like he's the freaking T1000 and Aaron Donald is John Connor or something. I don't understand why. But it's just basically making sure you do exactly what you do with Jimmy. You mask his deficiencies. Make sure that you have someone helping him. If anything, make sure that George is over there to chip or to help with, the blocking scheme, whatever the case may be. But you can find a way to be able to kind of hide it. But if we get another guy on the other side, that does something, because I don't really know who their linebackers are. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I really don't pay enough attention to them. I know Von Miller. Everybody else is a blank to me. But yeah, you can mask his deficiencies. I don't think we'll have too much of an issue.
Okay, I like that. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you. We saw the 49ers have some trouble running the ball against the Packers, right? And everybody's now saying that's the way, the formula to beat the Niners. Stuff the route line, stuff the box, make Jimmy beat you. But do the Rams have the players capable to get that done? Because obviously it's a lot easier said than done, right?
Right. Yeah, it really is. I don't know that they do. And, it's linebackers, it's the safeties. Who's going to come up in the box, right? I think play action is going to play a huge part of this. And if Jimmy can be effective early, it's just going to open things up for the running game. So I think Shanahan comes out in the first drive and really dials up a lot of play action, a lot of movement that will get, Jimmy Garoppolo into a comfortable situation. And that's going to open things up. I think when the other team looks at Jimmy Garoppolo and he's not doing those things, it's too easy to focus in on Elijah Mitchell. And it's too easy to go, okay, we're going to, really be after run fits. We're really going to play the run, almost overplay it because Jimmy has to prove that he can beat us. If Jimmy can come out and actually pick on those linebackers, pick on those safeties, then they have a great shot to run the ball. I do think that, penalties are going to play a part of the game. I know somebody asked earlier, I'm worried about the referees. Carl Cheffers is the head referee. His crew has called more penalties than every other crew in the league. But I will say this, he also penalizes the home team more than any other crew in the league. So the 49ers have had Carl Cheffers 3 times this season. They're 2-1 with him. So hopefully they can keep it clean. And someone put a funny thing in the comments that I was actually really funny. It's like, it's funny how when Josh Norman doesn't play, the penalties go down. And it's like, there it is. Joey Arredondo. Shout outs to Joey. It's true. And that's why I think Ambry Thomas being back is such an important thing, because when I saw Josh Norman get out there against Devontae Adams and did everything he could to grab that man's hand and still couldn't keep up with him, and it took an Aaron Rodgers miss to stop what probably would have been 6, I don't want to see any part of Josh Norman on this team. Like,
that was Norman Island. It's Norman Island out there.
Norman Island can be at the end of the bench. That's where his island can be. Okay?
Seriously.
I don't want to see no more of that.
Perry,
I think it's really going to be dependent on Jimmy Garoppolo and the penalties. We can't have, Trent Williams uncharacteristically getting holding calls or like whatever. You know what I mean? They have to keep it clean.
Man, those damn holding calls are killer, especially once they get down inside the red zone. Before I throw it to you, Perry, I just want to say shout out to Joey. He runs our TikTok, and the dude blew our account up over the weekend. We're almost at 15,000 followers on TikTok, which is more than what we have on Twitter, which is crazy. He had a video that had 2 million views. Go follow us on TikTok right now. We're hip and we're cool kids, guys. We're on TikTok. Search us, 49ers Hive. Hit follow, subscribe, whatever the hell it is on TikTok. Hit the plus button. Perry, I'm going to throw it to you, though. We've seen K1 be a little suspect in coverage this year, and specifically over the last few weeks. Does he worry you, especially when Kupp lines up in the slot?
Yeah, man, I think Cooper does, he will pose a legitimate threat to K1. And Matt and I talked about it. We all kind of agree that K1 struggled since he came back from COVID/injury. So I don't know if he's just lost a step. I don't know if COVID really impacted him, but otherwise it just seems like he's getting burnt on stuff he wouldn't normally get burnt on. I mean, he's over pursuing wide receivers. He's just overplaying the routes. It just seems like he's just in his head. So that's another thing where it's like, I don't know if you bring a safety behind him to give him some help out. And I really hope we do see Cooper Kupp double teamed. Kind of, fingers crossed if that's the case that Odell Beckham won't really eat. It's kind of a tough position to be in because when Stafford's cooking, he does look really good and he does throw the ball well. But you know how it is. It's been all season long. And I think that's been the story for the Niners. And that's always the case, is that they get eaten up against wide receiver ones. It's happening against DeAndre Hopkins. It's happening against Devontae Adams. It's happening against Jamar Chase. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to knock the Niners or the other guys because they are true wide receiver ones who are nasty. I think we can all say that Cooper Kupp is kind of like Devontae Adams, where he will get his work. He will get 70 to 80 to 90 yards. He will get his 8 to 9 catches. He is going to eat. But it's about limiting that. And if he is lined up over K1, I expect K1 to play hard. Again, he's another one of those guys where it's like the bar for him right now is pretty low. So if he doesn't get beat as often as we've been seeing, I think that'll be a victory in his case. But it's just fingers crossed that K1 doesn't get toast, man, because Kupp is hungry.
Yeah, man, it really is crazy what Kupp has been able to do this season and against the 49ers. He's a tough matchup. I forget who said it. And I know Perry just said it right now. I thought I saw a comment that said it as well. But Dion, can the 49ers live with the big performance from Cooper Kupp and still win the game?
Of course. You can let Cooper Kupp do what he – here's the thing. I said this on numerous occasions. You're not going to stop Cooper Kupp, just like you're not going to stop Devontae Adams when the weather is fair. Like there are certain dudes that are gonna get theirs regardless. The thing is limiting him as much as you can. If Cooper Kupp has 300 yards and doesn't score a touchdown, I care less. Don't bother me not one bit. He didn't score a touchdown. And that's the number one thing. You can limit him. You won't stop him because he's going to get his at some point. There's going to be a moment where he finds a soft spot in the zone, sits down, and grabs a catch. But yes, of course, even if he does have a big game, that's fine. And shout out to the guys for getting that TikTok. 15,000 followers is fucking phenomenal. Hey man, y'all do y'all thing. I don't mess with TikTok. I don't know nothing about it. Look, man, I'm confused. I don't even know how it works. I'm too old for that. But hey, congrats on that, man. 15K is a beautiful accomplishment. But yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a factor because if he's having a big game and no one else is, then we're fine.
That's the key. You can't have Cooper have a big game and Odell have a big game.
Exactly.
Or Tyler Higbee have a big game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. You're not going to stop all their weapons, but if you can limit the other guys, if Cooper Kupp eats, fine. But if you got Cooper Kupp eating and OBJ eating and Cam Akers is eating, then that's when you're in a world of trouble and you see stuff like the Buffalo Bills just getting torn apart. You know what I mean? That's when that happens.
Before I don't want to leave this comment up too long because it blocks you guys' face, but Pinar says, I love that we scheme so well against the Rams. We make sure to take Jalen Ramsey away from the plays quite often, and we always give Aaron Donald his worst PFF grade ever.
I love that. That's the best part of that comment. Aaron Donald, worst PFF. That's what I like to hear. And the funny thing is, if we win this game handily, like we just blow them out, I need his press conference. Don't show up acting like you don't know who anybody. You need to get up there, and I don't care if you pull a Marshawn Lynch. I'm here so I don't get fined. You better get up. I need to see what you're saying.
Yep.
It's been weird too. I want to comment on that real quick. It's been really odd to me that the Rams, we talked about it way earlier in the show, how much bulletin board material they've been talking about that the Niners are putting out. And the whole George Kittle, body bag thing, George Kittle wasn't even referencing about putting the Rams in a body bag. He's talking about how this game, one of us will end up in a body bag. You know what I mean? It's because it's a physical game.
It's a physical game,
brutal. Yeah, exactly. And since that game, all you've heard about, this is what I talked about, this is why you don't want to face the Niners, they're the most physical team. And Zach brought it up way earlier too. It's like, if you have to say you need to be more physical, and then Joe Staley talked about it, if you're saying that, you're lying to yourself. You really are.
It's that old saying, right? A rich man doesn't have to tell anybody he's rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's just weird where it's like, I don't know if they're trying to self-motivate, where it's like Aaron Donald saying, this is a game we're not going to lose. Jalen Ramsey saying, yeah, we got this in the bag. We know how to play them. We know their weaknesses. And then you have Raheem Morris, who's talking about the body bag thing too. And it's like, this level of motivation is really odd to say the least, and it's just surprising, man. It's just absolutely surprising. But when you have that happen, and you have the Niners, like Dion saying that they know they're not supposed to be here. No one thought we were going to be here. It's almost like there's no pressure on the Niners, and you see how hard and how tight and how physical they play, but it's also really loose and it's really free flowing. And when you have that kind of energy going for 4 quarters, you're going to win games. And that's kind of just been the story. And that's what I think we can all expect tomorrow.
100%. The quotes have been crazy. And what I thought was the funniest was the whole, oh, man, you guys been talking about 6 straight in the media all week. Now we're pissed. Bro, you had to lose 6 straight times to get upset? 6 straight times? Like, come on, man. You're not a professional athlete if it took you 6 straight losses to finally be like, all right, now maybe we should give this a shot. Come on, man. We got our guy Christian here. Christian, I'm going to throw it to you. Matt and Perry gave their X factors for the game. If you had to choose one player on offense or defense who needs to have a big game tomorrow for the 49ers to come out with the win, who would you give it to?
Jimmy.
Oh, all right.
100%. It's Jimmy. He's going to, and I even said it on my show yesterday. I think he's going to be the reason we win this game. I think he's going to finally have a good playoff game and finally give us the game we've been waiting weeks for.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, we went over his stats earlier. Obviously, he's 6-0, but the stats are pretty well for him, man. For as far as Jimmy Garoppolo, I really do appreciate it. This is a great question. I think Dion, you were saying you want a blowout, right? Was it Dion or Perry? When are you
That
guys?
was me. I was saying we're due
Okay.
for it based off the way that the games are played.
I love
We're
it.
due for this is due to be a big win. So
Hunk Fat saying, can the 49ers even get a blowout? It doesn't seem like this team's style, unfortunately. It's all about close last-minute wins that give us all heart attacks.
That depends on Jimmy.
yeah.
Week 10 against the Rams, Jimmy, to week 18, those are two different Jimmys. The week 10 Jimmy gives you 31-10. It's that simple.
Okay.
And he has had a game where he played against the Rams. I forget which one it was, because Jimmy technically is 5-0. Nick Mullins got that other win. But he has had a game against the Rams where he did throw for, I think, around 260 and 3 TDs with no interceptions. He's had one of them, but the game happened. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. He just has to dial in and actually do it. That's all we really are looking for. Everybody is hyping him up. The players are backing him. You know, everybody is like, man, he's due for a really great game. We're looking for this breakout. I am of the mindset I believe it when I see it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything negative about the guy. Just I believe it when I see it. And I feel like that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the 49ers are capable of blowing teams out. I mean,
relatively
speaking, they have 5 wins this year that were double-digit wins.
Yes.
So they're capable of doing it. And one of them was against the Rams where they won 31-10. So there's very much a possibility that they can do that. But, you know, like Julie's saying here, like, listen, they're lying to themselves. Okay. They were mad when they lost week 18. So they can't act like, oh, it's just what's happening in the media lately that's making us mad. And, you know, she said, we all saw it, right? And she pointed it out too. When McVay is running into the end zone when it's 17-0 celebrating, there's something about Shanahan that definitely is in his head where it's like, it's the little brother thinking he got one up on the big brother until the big brother come around and wraps him in the head and is like, no, settle down, kiddo. You know, that's one of those things where they're trying to pump themselves up when this 49er team is playing loose with nothing to lose. Hey, we're not supposed to be here. Everybody thinks we're fraudulent. Everyone thinks we stink or whatever. That's why the national media is jumping on the Rams. That's why all these other fan bases are jumping on the Rams, right? They look at Jimmy Garoppolo and they go, yeah, I mean, like, he's good looking. That's probably why he's got his job, because he doesn't play well, right? Like, I don't know. Who are the rest of these guys? They somehow squeaked out a win against the Packers where they didn't even score any offensive touchdowns. Like, they're frauds. And that mentality is going to get you caught up. When you have to lie to yourself, when you think, oh, we got this in the bag, like Jalen Ramsey says, that's when the 49ers come out like they did against the Packers in the NFC Championship game. And when you look up at the scoreboard, it's 20-3, and you're like, what the hell just happened? And you never recover. So if the Rams don't come to play, if they come out flat and the 49ers and Shanahan dial up that opening drive like they did against the Cowboys, it might be a long-ass day for Sean McVay and them Rams.
I'm going to do my best Dion impression here real quick. I can't really do it. I'm either going to do my Dion impression or my Dak Prescott impression. But I will say I will say this. Look, Kyle Shanahan has won 3 straight playoff games, including week 18. Kyle Shanahan is ice cold as a head coach. He is, pardon my language, he's absolutely fucking ice cold. You go into week 18, you're down 17 points. You scored 24 or whatever unanswered points, or 17 unanswered. You come back and win. You go into Dallas, you have over 100,000 fans rooting and screaming and hollering. Jimmy Garoppolo's not having a good day. The Cowboys are coming back. You go in and win. Biggest game of Kyle Shanahan's career, even bigger than Super Bowl, in my opinion, because this season wasn't supposed to happen. And you go in Dallas and win. Now you're going into Green Bay. You're going into Green Bay, over 80,000 plus people, lots of Packers fans, by the way, screaming and hollering. This is Aaron Rodgers' house. This is our season. This is our time to shine. Everyone is against Shanahan. 31 other fan bases in the league, like Matt said, are against Shanahan and the Niners, and he goes in and wins. Frigid cold. Mind you, there's a clip in 2019 where Aaron Rodgers said in that championship game after they lost, if this was Lambeau Field in the cold in our conditions, this game would have been different. Rodgers got that, and they lost with a quarterback who has a busted up thumb, mind you, with a team where Trent Williams gets hobbled, Nick Bosa's coming back from a concussion, you're missing your rookie corner who's playing really well, all kinds of things going up against the 49ers. And now you're going into the NFC Championship game. Everyone's doubting Kyle Shanahan. Everyone's doubting Jimmy Garoppolo. You have Kyle Shanahan's back against the wall, if you will. There isn't a coach much colder than Kyle Shanahan in the NFL. And when you put him in that position, you're talking about a 30-plus point game where it absolutely seems like the Niners are going to dominate. That was my rant. I'm sorry, but it's just as a fan.
I agree with you, dude.
Count out the Niners. It really is. And it's Kyle Shanahan, man. This guy is so cold. He's so brutal. Like, I thought Matt's reference to the big to little brother was excellent because he said, look, this dude is fucking celebrating in the end zone up 17 points. It's not even halftime yet. You're going to go out there and do that to me? We're tight. Don't get me wrong, but you do not step on my shoes like that. What Shanahan do? Dials up all kinds of shit and you beat the Rams. You bring that energy into this championship game, you're talking a monumental victory. So that's my rant, man. It's just the disrespect's insane.
And no one's giving him credit for it. I mean, hell, even one of the biggest 49er honks on the planet, Peter Schrager, jumped off the bandwagon because it's a trendy thing to do. This team ain't getting any respect. You know, when teams come out and go, we don't get respect, a lot of times it's lip service. But when you got your like biggest proponents in national media going like, all right, I think we picked the 49ers enough. Let's jump to the other side. Man, that's disrespect.
Especially when you compare them to the 07 Giants, who made a similar run that we're making to now, straight up Cinderella story. And then, oh, yeah, they're the 07 Giants. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm not picking them now. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, even better than the 07 Giants. I mean, the Ravens team that beat us in the Super Bowl, Joe Flacco elite. That's what we're working with. We're working with an excellent defense with a substandard quarterback. All we need is Jimmy Garoppolo to have his Joe Flacco elite moment, and it's good as gold.
You know, what's funny is that we hear a lot about, you know, oh, the 49ers, they're getting way too much credit. Oh, the team they're going against is disrespected in the media. When in reality, it's like we saw it last week against the Packers. 95% of all these analysts were picking the Packers. 1 or 2 were picking the Niners. At this point, Dion, I'm going to throw it to you. Do the 49ers, do you think they feel a little disrespected? Do you think they feel like, yo, what more do we have to do to prove to you that we're for real? Or do you think they probably understand until we get that ring, we're not going to get the respect?
I'm going to tell you right now, if you're asking me how the players honestly feel, how the organization feels, they don't give a shit. They don't care. We don't care how the media feels because we beat the Packers. And all I heard on Monday was, well, what about Aaron Rodgers? And what about his legacy? And is this his last ride in Green Bay? Bruh, we just beat the Packers. We just moved on. We sent him home. No one cares about Aaron Rodgers. No one cares about his stupid toe or his fake vaccinations or any of that crap. No one cares about his little girlfriend. None of that. Get off of the TV if you're not going to talk about us. Am I upset? Yes, we need more media attention. And I'm going to tell you right now, shout out to Adam Rain because he screwed up once and he ain't jumped off the train since. So are the players upset? Man, they don't care about that. You know, be honest with you, the perfect person that you need to be when you feel disrespected by the media is Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a stone cold person. He cares nothing about what I think or anybody else. He said it best. As long as the guys in this locker room love me, I could care less. And it doesn't let it bother him. That's why I think the players could care less about the media recognition. At the end of the day, we're a storied franchise. We still own the record for the best ass whooping handed out in the Super Bowl. We beat the Broncos 55-10. We're a storied franchise, man, and we still don't get no love. So are we pissed as fans? Most likely. Am I upset? Yes, because I'm tired. I don't want to hear about Aaron Rodgers and him. But nobody gives a shit about where Aaron Rodgers is going. At the end of the day, what you need to do is jump on this gravy train with the 49ers and realize that we turned another stadium into our home. Think about that.
Again, too. It's going to happen
tomorrow. We turned that into our home. Rams fans can't even buy enough tickets to keep us out.
What's a Rams fan?
Know.
I ain't never seen one, bro.
Can I say
What's
one
a Rams
thing?
Fan?
Can I say one thing to what you're saying, Dion?
Yeah.
You're probably right where they don't care. But if you remember, in the last NFC Championship game we were against, and when we beat the shit out of the Packers, were any of them? They weren't giving us any fucking shot at all.
They went right back to Aaron Rodgers.
It was Aaron Rodgers this, Packers this, Packers this. Aaron Rodgers going to get to another Super Bowl finally, and then we went out there and whooped the living shit out of him. And that just, I don't know why, but it just feels so similar. Where the media doesn't, everybody's picking against us, everybody's not giving us a chance, that we're going to come out and be like, oh, fuck you guys. Here's an ass whooping.
Yeah, that was just like that with the Cowboys game, right? It was like, oh, the Cowboys fucked up. Dak ran the stupid draw play. No analysis about the Niners at all. No analysis about how they dominated for 4 quarters and 8 minutes into it. You know what I mean? You go into the Packers game. Oh, Aaron Rodgers fucked up. There was a really slow offensive start. Special teams fucked up. No respect to the Niners. No analysis. No, oh, the Niners did this well. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play that well, but he drove the offense to the field goal. You know what I mean? There's no analysis. It's all, oh, the Niners got lucky. The Niners got screwed. You know, they got freaking the good end of the stick. And you're talking about the Rams game now, where it's like, oh, now they're talking, they're hungry, they're talking, they're physical. This is the Rams' time. The media's picking them. It's like, okay, it's okay. You want to pick against the Niners? This has been the story all playoffs long. You want to keep doing that? This is what the Niners thrive off of. They thrive off of being doubted. They thrive off of not getting attention. And I think they're okay with that, because the less media they get, the more they can just focus on them. And I think that's the biggest thing they have working for them, is that they don't get all the drive like the Rams do.
It's
insane. I think it's a visualization thing too. You know, you talk about the 49ers players not caring. I go back to that clip that's been floating around of George Kittle 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, where he's saying to himself, I will get back here. I will get back here. This will not get the best of me. I'm going to come back with a vengeance. And that's the mentality they have. All they got to do is get into the dance, and they know what their goal is. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the Super Bowl and, you know, they're like, bring on the Chiefs, bring on the Bengals. We don't give a shit. Like, they're going to go out with that mentality. That's how they play. They play, when George Kittle talks about it's going to be a body bag game, he's not disrespecting anybody like we talked about. He's not like, we're going to put you in a body bag. It's, we're going to sell our bodies for this game to get to where we need to go. And that's the attitude that they have. So,
we got a Rams fan in here.
I know. He said, y'all went 13-10. Christian was talking about 2019 when we whooped the shit out of the Packers. And they were still going into this game talking about how Aaron Rodgers was going to do this and that. And he didn't do anything. So,
yeah, first of all, we held Aaron Rodgers to 10 points in the frozen tundra.
55
as people
yards.
like to call it. And the man could barely throw the ball.
55 yards in the second half.
We went into a stadium that was not meant for us to win in temperatures that nobody should actually even be playing in, period. And we won. That's how we whooped Aaron Rodgers. So if you have questions about that, go ahead, pay for the subscription to, you know, what's the thing they call it on NFL.com. Pay for the subscription.
Game Pass.
Yeah, pay for Game Pass.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the game.
And watch the 49ers sack his ass 6 times.
Exactly. When you hold Aaron Rodgers to the numbers that we held him to, and you do what we did to him in his own house without scoring an offensive touchdown, mind you, that tells you that at the end of the day, we whooped his ass. Point proven.
I just want to say real quick, you guys are asking, what is a Rams fan I've never seen? Well, to quote one of my favorite characters of all time, Ron Burgundy, could be wrong, but I believe a Rams fan is an old wooden ship that was used in the Civil War era.
You know, oh man, you know, the one thing I want to say is especially when it comes to the media and they were talking about Rodgers, they didn't. I never really saw anybody bring up the fact that we held them to 55 fucking yards in the second half. 55. This is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about, and Devontae Adams. 55 fucking yards in the second half, and nobody said a goddamn thing.
The colder the weather got, the worse Aaron Rodgers got, and the more hype that the defense played.
Yep.
It's like when the going got tough, the 49ers played defense, and Aaron Rodgers was thinking about his vacation.
Yep.
He's too concerned. We're not going to get into this much, but he's too concerned with his personal stats. He will not put the ball in harm's way and risk an interception. There were plenty of plays that were there. He just didn't take them. Got to credit the defense for putting him in those situations. We're going to start wrapping things up here and give our offensive and defensive MVP predictions along with our final score predictions. But before we do that, we got to shout out our sponsors, MyBookie. Shout out to MyBookie for sponsoring this show and every show this season. Guys, obviously you're here for your 49ers fan, but if you're not, Your team might have missed the big game this year, but MyBookie's double deposit bonus will make sure that you do not. Sign up at MyBookie now. Go to MyBookie.AG. Use our promo code Hive, as in 49ers Hive, and you'll get your first deposit instantly matched all the way up to $1,000. So you can get in on the action of Super Bowl 56. The only way of watching the biggest game of the year could get any better is to get paid doing it. And MyBookie gives you everything you need to do so. With double your money, you can double your winnings. And the best starting point for the big game with Super Bowl is prop bets. Whether it's on or off the field, there's no shortage of wagers to choose from for the Super Bowl. So get in on the action, let the confetti fall, and walk away a winner. Don't miss out. Head to MyBookie.ag and double your first deposit. Like I said, all the way up to $1,000. You deposit $500, they'll match you $500. You deposit $1,000, they'll match you $1,000. You know the math. You can do it. Use our promo code Hive, as in 49ers Hive. Again, MyBookie.ag, promo code 49ers Hive. Place your bets. Get ready for the unmatched excitement of the Super Bowl. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Thank you, MyBookie, for sponsoring the show. Also, guys, we still have our prop bet giveaway going on with our partners over at Pickup. If you go to 49ershive.com and click on any of our latest articles, you will see two prop bets. Who has more yards, Deebo Samuel or Cooper Kupp? And who wins the championship game, the 49ers or the Rams? All you got to do is enter your phone number, type in the little code to verify it's you, and enter to win. Answer those two questions. The winner will be selected tomorrow after the game, and you will win a set of MLB shot mugs. They're super cool. They look like the bottom of a baseball bat, MLB logos, and a $50 gift card to NFLshop.com. Again, 49ershive.com. Check out any of our latest articles. Those are the two prop bets. It's also on our Twitter at 49ershive. All right, guys, we're going to wrap things up here. Man, this is a hell of a preview show. I think we're all confident to say this will not be the last preview show of the year. To quote the 49ers, I think we ain't done yet. And I really do think so. Matt, let's start it off with you, man. Offensive MVP prediction.
Well, like I said, he was my X factor earlier. I got to let it rock with him. I think Brandon Ayuk has 7 catches for $120 and a touchdown. And I think he steals his thunder right away from the Rams.
Damn, I love that. Dion, let's hear it.
All right. You say who is my who?
Offensive MVP prediction.
Offensive MVP. Elijah Mitchell, man. Mitchell goes off, man. Mitchell goes over 100 and he get 2 tutties. Mitchell finna ball out, man. Y'all better watch it. Eli coming for you, baby. Raging Cajuns.
All right. You know, it's funny you say that because I actually did place a prop bet with MyBookie, and my prop bet is for Elijah Mitchell to have 2 touchdowns and obviously the Niners to win. So I'll win big if that's the case. Christian, offensive MVP.
Mine, I'm going to do the same I did yesterday. Mine's kind of a combo with Jimmy and Kittle just going off. The way that the Rams can't cover the middle. And then they got, like I said, they got the old man back there playing safety. Dude, I just see Jimmy just hitting Kittle all night, and they just every big play is a chunk play to Kittle, and it just Jimmy throws a good ball and Kittle makes freaking 20 yards yak every time. So I got the two of them just freaking going off and winning us this game.
All right. I love that. Perry.
Man, yeah, you said Kittle. I'm wearing my Kittle jersey. Haven't watched it in a while because the Niners have won the playoffs since I've been wearing it. But you know what, man? I haven't heard the name yet. Got to rock with Deebo Samuel. He's been absolutely on fire, guys. He's been the biggest X factor, I think, in the entire playoffs from any team. Outside of maybe Mahomes and Allen, if you're considering quarterbacks. But nah, man, Deebo Samuel's my guy. I think we are going to see a historic performance. I have the type of 200 all-purpose type of yard day from Deebo Samuel. This guy's been hungry. He's relentless. He's got the most yard per reception in the entire NFL. I think he was averaging 18 to 19 per catch. Over 1,400 yards off 77 catches, man. We haven't seen him catch a ball in a little while. I think that streak is finally going to end, man. This guy is going to feast. I'm talking like a 7-catch, 110-yard type of day. I'm talking a 10-carry, 112-yard type of day. I'm really sticking with 100 on both sides, guys. Over 100 receiving, over 100 rushing. 1 tutty each, 1 receiving, one rushing. And, man, someone on this offense is going to eat. I agreed with Matt way earlier. It's going to be Kittle. It's going to be Ayuk. It's going to be someone over the middle Who's that going to be? We don't know. My bet says Debo. He's going to be that guy that's going to eat. We heard him talk in the postgame, man. He's deliberately not really saying, I don't compare to anyone. I am me. When you have that kind of energy reflecting, you're going, this is a guy, my Chris Collinsworth. Now, here's a guy that's going to absolutely freaking blow up. So, guys, Debo Samuel's my man. Over 200 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. Maybe a kick return touchdown if he decides to take one back. I would love to see that.
All right, I'm going to share mine. That's a hell of a prediction, by the way.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to go with George Kittle. You talked about him, Perry. We showed you guys the heat map where the Rams are vulnerable. Jimmy Garoppolo loves the middle of the field. George Kittle is due for a big game. It seems like he's kind of been, I don't want to say quiet, but he hasn't had his he had that stretch of like 3 games or 4 games where he had like 120 yards plus per game. I think Kittle's going to go off tomorrow. He's got that damn drive to get back to the Super Bowl. That clip went viral this week of him saying he'll be back here, like Mike said, or like Matt said, with a vengeance. I think that's tomorrow it begins. So I think Kittle's due for a big game. I'm going to say 6 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Okay. Matt, I already know your answer, but hit us with your defensive MVP prediction.
Say it with me, everybody. Nick Bosa. 3 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Let's go.
All right. He's going to do it, man. Dion, who do you got? Defense.
Hey, man. I want to see that belly rub all night long. Go with Big Eric Armstead, baby. Let's rub that belly. Yeah, man. Big Eric Armstead. I say he have at least 2 or 3 sacks, man. He's been eating. The man, since he's been put in the middle, has been a monster. Eric Armstead. That's my guy.
Hell of a prediction. It's funny. People are like, where's this Eric Armstead been? This is the guy we should have paid. He's been playing out of position. Do you blame Robert Saleh? Do you blame Manny? I don't know, but he's now where he's supposed to play, and he's balling out. Christian, who do you got for your defensive MVP prediction?
Same guy I picked the other 2 games, Armstead. I picked him against the Cowboys and the Packers, and he has 3 sacks in the last 2 games. He's going to get 2 more. He's going to get I think he didn't he have 2 in Week 18 on Stafford. I think he's going to get 2 more against the Rams and going to the Super Bowl with 5 sacks in this playoff. So,
jeez.
I'm sticking with him.
I love that. Perry.
I was on him when he got signed. I was on him every game he's played in. I've been picking him as my defensive MVP every playoff. He's going to do it. He's going to get the 1 sack I've been asking for. Arden Key, baby. He's been my guy. I've been on that hype train since day one. He's made me so proud because I was so high on him in the draft. And I was like, man, he should have went to the Raiders. But now Chris Kosierek and the defensive line have absolutely unlocked him. Arden Key, I got to give him 2 sacks. I think he's one of those guys that's like, you know what? Who's going to hit Matthew Stafford? Who's going to be the guy to just come out of nowhere and just blow it up? If it's not Bosa, it's Arden Key. Give me Arden Key 2 sacks, man. This guy is hungry and he's ready to rumble.
Damn, all right, man. For me, it's so tough, man, because I want to go with Armstead, I want to go with Warner, but I'm going to go with Jimmy Ward. We saw that first matchup this year with the Niners. Jimmy Ward, he talked a lot of shit this offseason saying still the Matt Stafford that was in Detroit, and he backed it up the first time he saw him. Wasn't as obviously statistically great the second time, but he was still solid. Hell of a performer, hell of a player, does not get the recognition he deserves. I'm going to say Jimmy Ward. I think he gets a pick in a very vital moment tomorrow. All right, guys. Final score predictions. Matt, take it away.
Wait, real quick, because this I don't think it will, but it might be the last game. Can we just score predictions and 1 bold prediction, like my wheel route? I want 1
let's
bold
do it.
prediction
Yeah,
from you guys. I want to hear it. I want it.
All right. I got you. I think this is going to be a little bit of the opposite of the Packers game. I think that the 49ers are due for an offensive explosion. I think they're going to put up some points. I don't necessarily consider it like a blowout. I think that the Rams might get some garbage points late. So I'm going to pick the 49ers to win. And I'm going to go with a score of 31-27. And for a bold prediction, I'm going to say 0 Jimmy Garoppolo turnovers tomorrow.
You took mine. All right, that's all right.
Last week, I love that.
Yeah. Silent Spider Games asking if Trent Williams playing tomorrow. It's questionable. everything leading up to this game is saying yes.
We all
It's a
think
game
so.
time decision, but
Yeah.
he'll play.
We all
Man's
think
too
so.
damn
We
tough
are.
not to.
Yep. Dion, final score prediction and one bold prediction.
I'm gonna go with the same score that we beat them with earlier in the season. We're gonna get them 31-10. I believe this is that moment. I'm really sticking to it. We beat them, and then we barely beat them. This is the time where we beat them. And my bold prediction: Matthew Stafford throwing 2 interceptions. Go ahead, give us the ball back, and hopefully Jimmy can turn those into touchdowns and not into field goals.
I think I saw a stat. We were talking about this before we went into that Tennessee game where Jimmy hadn't gone, Perry, correct me if I'm wrong, but 3 straight games, right, without throwing an interception. Well, neither has Stafford. And I believe this is going to be his third game without an interception, going into it at least. So history.
Jimmy's already thrown 2 interceptions, so he should be fine to not throw an interception. So Matt,
He's gone 4 starts in a row throwing a pick.
Well, let's hope it's not 5.
So no way.
So
he
he's
can
due
go
to
5,
not
right?
throw one.
Yeah, right. There we go.
Yeah, man, I love it. Christian, who do you got?
All right. Well, I got the Niners 34-27. And my bold prediction is Jimmy throws for 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions and 250 yards.
Okay, I like that. Perry.
You know what, man? I was joking with everyone I've been talking to. It said every time I see a quote that says the Rams are going to win this game from a player or coach, I keep adding a touchdown. I've been kind of rolling with that so much, I'm going to stick with it, man. 38-17 49ers. I think this is going to be the shellacking we have been waiting for all season long. I'm taking that score to the house, man. 38-17. Jimmy Garoppolo, 4 passing touchdowns. I think this guy I think Garoppolo is secretly pissed. He's had the shit against him all season long. This is his blow-up game. I know I'm expecting an average game, but if this is bold enough, this is his blow-up game. Give me 4 passing touchdowns from Garoppolo. These guys are hungry.
Hey, we need to clip that, because if this man hits 4
they are
passes,
tired of hearing the Rams say we're going to out-physical these guys. Jimmy's tired of it. I know he is. He's somewhere in there is pissed.
You're saying is Jimmy's going to steal the soul of Tom Brady and freaking get 4 passing touchdowns.
Right. All right. I guess it's on me, man. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as big of an offensive explosion. I think defenses are going to show up. I don't know why I have like a 23-14 win for the 49ers. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be very, very close. I think they might pull away late, but other than that, I think it's going to be close. My bold prediction, since Matt took mine, no turnovers from Jimmy, I'm going to say that Deebo Samuel, and I'm kind of still in Perry's here, but has a passing, a receiving, and a rushing touchdown tomorrow, because the man can do it all. And it's funny that I say that, right? And any other player, y'all are like, you're crazy. I bet you the 4 of you guys are probably like, yeah, I can see it.
I could. Yeah, it's not outside the realm of possibility. The man does everything.
The football cycle, boys.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it right there. That's it right there. Nah, but he gonna need a punt return, a kick return. He gonna need all that.
Those don't count.
If he does that in a game, that would be insane. You would literally never be able to tell me that Deebo Samuel was not the single best player in the NFL currently if he was able to pull something like that off. That would just be.
If he does that, then the voters need to fucking pull their heads out of their ass, and when they do the voting, that's the MVP right there. Fuck the quarterback shit.
Yeah.
This comment is hilarious. Jimmy auditioned to go to Tampa next season. Imagine if he replaced Tom Brady.
Wow, that would be insane, wouldn't it?
Hey, that team.
Tom Brady's dad said he wasn't freaking retiring, so.
Bro, look, man. The only thing that happened with that, and I'll put this. I'm thinking that this is my thought process to put that to bed. The man is retiring. It just got leaked. Do you really? Okay, look at it like this. If I'll tell you right now, if Brady was able to get to this NFC Championship game and win and get to the Super Bowl and win, he would probably have played another year. He lost. And at the end of the day, it's just about realizing when it's time to let go. And I think he realized it, and somebody heard him say it, and they leaked it. That's all.
By the way, never underestimate listen, that Antonio Brown stuff happened. It killed his shot of like really
Yeah.
hurt the team.
Yeah.
And maybe Tom Brady just looks at that and goes, I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
I've won 7 Super Bowls. I don't need this. I'm
Yeah,
out of here.
My wife made a funny point though, like before anybody else was like, as soon as we found out that his dad said that, she's like, watch, Tom Brady just out of spite because he's pissed somebody leaked it. He's gonna come back and play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He would be the only
seriously.
one. Listen, I want to talk about your cycle analogy though. So let's look at it this way for like a wide receiver, right? Catching touchdown is a single, rushing touchdown is a double. The passing touchdown, because it happens more often, is a home run, and then the kick return is that goddamn triple that nobody ever seems to get.
Yeah.
So if
that
anybody
makes
could
sense.
do it, I would say, hey, maybe it's Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
If he had a four-fer, oh my god,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
That'd be insane.
Hung Fast says, you guys have been on fire recently. Great show, guys. Everyone hit subscribe so they can reach 2,000 subs and give away a Niners jersey already. Thank you, Hung Fast.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're trying.
we're so close, guys. We're like 70 away. Hit subscribe. Tell a friend to hit subscribe. If you don't have a YouTube account, it takes like 2
Exactly.
seconds to make one. Just make one. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll give away a 49ers jersey once we reach 2,000 subscribers. Guys, before we go, though, out of the Bengals and Chiefs, who do you got? Matt.
My head says Chiefs, but my heart says Bengals. I want the Bengals to win. I like Joey Burrow a lot, man. He's really good. And honestly, after 2 straight years, I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Yeah. While it would be nice if the 49ers can get back there and face the Chiefs again to kind of, get revenge for 2019, I think back to the 80s and those 2 49ers Bengals Super Bowls and just how amazing those games were. And it's more interesting to me. Like Chiefs, been there, done that. I've watched so much of the Chiefs over the last couple years. Patrick Mahomes is great. Tyreek Hill is great. Whatever. But man, I want to see something new, and that's why I hope that the Bengals can take it tomorrow. My head says Chiefs, but my heart says Bengals.
Love it, Dion.
Matt. I'm gonna need you to stay out of my head. Crazy shit goes on in there. So don't hang around in there too goddamn long. But yes, and I want the Bengals for selfish reasons. And I'm gonna look to my right here. There's 2 Super Bowls that we have from the Bengals, and I don't mind it. The third. Just gonna throw that out there. But yeah, I agree with Matt. Head says the Chiefs, but I would love for Joe Burrow to get it done. Burrow, man, that's an NFL vet in a rookie's body. I swear to you, the kid is he's unshakable. He's a really good dude.
Yep. He's cold, man. Christian, who you taking?
I'm taking the Bengals just because when you look back when they beat them the first time, Jamar Chase had probably his best game of the season against them, over 200 yards receiving. And you have to think too, the biggest way that the Chiefs get pressure is the blitz. Burrow, if you look at Burrow's numbers, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league against the blitz. If you blitz him, he's gonna make you pay. Him and Jamar Chase are gonna make you pay if you blitz him. And I know that their offensive line isn't that good, but the fact that they need a blitz to get pass rush, I think Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to go off, and I see them winning. Plus, I want them to win. I want a Bengals and Niners Super Bowl, and I wish I don't know which channel has it, but man, could you imagine if we had that and then Chris Collinsworth had to call the game, and he was like having fucking nightmares, flashbacks about losing twice.
You say the same thing.
That's hilarious. Whoa. Man, I could see it. I really could see it. Perry, who do you got?
I'm with Matt. I've been thinking about this all day, actually. My brain says the Chiefs because it kind of makes sense, man. They're just so on fire. But the Bengals, man, I want my heart to do it because Joe Burrow is just so much fun to watch, and he's so cool. He's not cool Joe, but damn it, he's a cool quarterback nonetheless. And, man, I think the Chiefs are going to win. I personally want the Chiefs in the Super Bowl against the Niners. Might sound a little crazy, but the reason why is because all playoffs, the Niners have been eating the underdog commentary. They've been eating we are dogs. They've had that mindset all season long. We are dogs. What better way to go up against your biggest Super Bowl rival in the Chiefs after, the 2019 Super Bowl where it's like, fuck, we were, one play away. What better way to avenge that storyline? What better way to go into this game where I think we can all agree if we play the Chiefs, we are underdogs. What better way to keep that mindset going into that game, going, you know what? These people are going to doubt us once again. Let's keep rolling with it. Let's keep eating. So I got to roll with the Chiefs, guys. And if that's the case, I would absolutely love to see the Niners get their revenge. Matt said earlier, man, Kittle wants his vengeance. What better way to set this up?
Hey,
Okay.
and they'll start talking about this as a rival, as a dynasty rivalry thing.
Yeah.
They're going to paint that narrative because this is 2 times within the last couple of years that we've been there. So they're going to look and go,
And can we say the Bengals have such a fucking badass kicker too? Their fucking field goal kicker is the man.
Yeah.
What he said to Burrow.
Did you see that quote? Did you see that quote where when they won the Titans, he was like, he told Burrow, he's like, well, I'll see you in the AFC Championship. I was damn.
He looked at Burrow and he said, I guess we're going to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, before he even kicked it.
Before he even kicked it, he knew he was going to make it.
Yeah.
That's
By the way, Christian, if the Bengals and 49ers make it to the Super Bowl, it's on NBC.
It is on NBC?
Dude, just please.
I know. That would be legit.
It's almost as good as Tony Romo having to call the Cowboys lose to the Niners. Yeah. But it's like on steroids because it's a Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
For me, I'm gonna. It's so tough because the way we feel the Niners have had this special season, you could say the exact same thing for the Bengals. Look at how they beat the Titans last week in that last-second field goal. They beat the Raiders on that last-second interception against Derek Carr where he was driving down the goal line. I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna pick the damn Bengals. I don't know why I have this feeling that they have a special season going on, just like the Niners do. And what a hell of a Super Bowl that would be. Both of these wild card teams that kind of, I don't know if the Bengals, did they win the North?
They won the North, yeah.
They won the North.
Yeah,
so they weren't quite as much of an underdog as the Niners were, but they were still a damn underdog going into the AFC playoffs. And imagine if they both met for the third matchup. They're probably like, damn, can we just make it to the Super Bowl without facing the Niners? I don't know, man. I'm gonna take the Bengals.
You know what's cool too is when you think about the game we played them, that was a Super Bowl style game. The way it was back and forth, and then the Niners come back and win it in overtime with a touchdown, and it was like a Super Bowl game.
Yep.
So it's
I agree, man.
Playing out that way.
Yep. Win all day. 1, 2, 3 says Packers fan rooting for the Niners. Go Niners. I appreciate them, man. I hope you guys don't have to deal with Jordan Love next year. Hopefully Aaron comes back. All right, guys. Fantastic show. We're almost going on 2 hours here. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. This is one of the best, turnouts we've had this season, and it's fitting for the NFC Championship game. Hit like, hit subscribe. We really do appreciate all you guys. All of our Twitter handles are on the screen. Besides Dion, his @SwiftD. Go follow him there. Matt, you want to take us home?
Absolutely. It says something about our audience when we finally get some Russian bots up in the chat. That means we're blowing up doing something right. I want everybody to get a good night's sleep. When your head hits your pillows, all positive thoughts, because when we wake up in the morning, we're going to be anticipating a 49ers win. Let's will this into existence. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to all the guys in here. We're going to see you guys tomorrow after the game. So with that being said, until next time, go Niners.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.